Hello friends, airplane travel is considered one of the safest places in the world. It has also helped bridge long distances. However, sometimes, air travel can be fraught with incidents that are heartbreaking. Sometimes, due to someone's presence of mind, the lives of the passengers on board are saved. Friends, today we will tell you about one such air incident in which two pilots saved the lives of 81 people with just a glass of water. Yes, you heard it right. A glass of water saved the lives of 81 people. Friends, this question must be in your mind: how could a glass of water save the lives of 81 people? So, stay tuned to this interesting video and watch this fascinating and true story. In September 2010, Russian Airlines Alrosa aircraft 514 was ready to fly from Moscow to Moscow. It was a domestic flight carrying 72 passengers and a crew member. The pilots were Yegya Namyak, Slava Novik, and Andrei Laskov. Both were very experienced pilots. It was a normal seat for the passengers sitting there, but they had no idea what was about to happen in a few hours. Finally, the plane took off on a normal flight and started moving towards Moscow. The plane was passing over a small Russian city where the snow was melting all around. Suddenly, something malfunctioned in the plane. However, the pilot did not take the problem seriously and kept flying. However, after only 8 minutes in this condition, every light on the plane went off, causing darkness all around. The passengers became very worried. They could not understand what was happening in the plane and what was going to happen next. But friends, the real reason for this was that both the pilots had understood that the plane was about to crash. Friends, after that, all the electronic systems present in the plane had malfunctioned, which no one was able to fix. Not only had the plane's signals and navigation system malfunctioned, but the place from where the fuel was coming into the plane had also become faulty. The plane could only stay in the air for about 30 minutes. But friends, the problem was that the plane was flying at an altitude of 34,000 meters. From there, the location of an airport or similar location was impossible. If the pilots were to save the plane, they first had to bring it down so they could find a place on the ground where they could land it. One of the caveats here was that the plane needed to be turned at the right angle to land it, and all the plane's systems were already damaged. But friends, you must have heard the saying, Hamrat-e Mardam-e Madad-e Kuda, the courage of a man is the help of God. Friends, what the pilots did is extremely difficult to believe. They performed a strange and insightful act. The pilot took a glass of water and placed it on the plane's control panel. When the pilots began to turn the plane, the water began to act, giving both pilots an idea of the plane's correct direction. It was a simple trick, but here, these two pilots deserve praise because, when the plane was about to crash, these two pilots performed this miracle with a glass of water. With the help of this glass of water, the plane had descended from an altitude of 34,000 meters to an altitude of 9,000 meters. These planes could easily see and read the ground. But friends, one more thing is worth noting here, and that is, when this plane came down, it was flying over a small town in Russia called Ishmael. This city also had a deserted airport, which had been vacant for many years. No flights ever landed at this airport, but a man took good care of the airport here. This man once worked as a supervisor at the airport. This man loved to keep the airport clean. This man always kept the airport runway clean. He even paid for the marking of the airport runway himself. Friends, due to this man's hobby, the planets present in the plane saw this runway. After this, the pilot tried to land the plane on this runway but he failed. During this time, the pilot also informed the passengers about the condition of the plane. He also described to the passengers that the plane landed very fast. You can imagine what the passengers on board must have been going through at that time. They were terrified for their lives. But friends, finally, after 2 failures, these 2 talented pilots landed the plane on the runway for the 3rd time. It must be a test of this plane's luck. First, its electronic systems failed, but thanks to a glass of water, it was able to land. After that, look at this man's strange hobby, which brought the deserted airport to the attention of the pilots, and ultimately, it landed safely. The plane was about to crash, but due to the intelligence of these two pilots, the lives of 81 people on board were saved. These two pilots became heroes after the plane landed. People had never imagined or seen such a use of a glass of water, especially when it came to life. You all praised the man who kept the report clean without ghee, even if the crematorium was empty. Friends, this thrilling landing is still considered a miracle, and this trick of the pilot seems no less than magic. So, my dear friends, if you liked the video, don't leave without liking it. Also, like similar videos. To watch more interesting and mysterious stories, please subscribe to this channel. Friends, thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying with me throughout the video and giving me your valuable time.